Welcome everybody to the Feral Central podcast. I'm your host Emma, and this season we'll be exploring Princess Mononoke by Hayao Miyazaki. Today, we're just going to be talking about some general background of the movie, its creator, and our thoughts. I've loved this movie since I was a little girl, so I'm really excited to be doing this podcast today. But anyways, let's meet the rest of the crew, starting with Hui.
Hi, my name is Hui, and I love this movie because I have a dog, so I love wolves.
Next, let's meet Ujan.
Hi, this is Ujan. I deeply resonate with the themes of the movie and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Finally, let's meet Linus.
Hello, my name is Linus. I also really like Ghibli movies, and I'll be looking at Princess Mononoke from the perspective of Japanese culture and history. Alright, so throughout this podcast, we're going to be talking about how Princess Mononoke's themes, especially in terms of environmentalism and industrialization, is very ahead of its time, as it stays relevant today, even while the movie was like 30 years old.
Hui, can you tell us a little bit about what the movie is about?
So, Princess Mononoke follows Ashitaka, who sees a cure for a curse placed upon him by an evil boar, and becomes entangled in a conflict between the forest god and Arintown. Lady Eboshi, the colony's leader, wants to exploit the forest resources, while San, aka Princess Mononoke, a human raised by wolves, fights to protect the forests. Later in the movie, Lady Eboshi kills the forest spirit, which destroys Irontown, but they restore the forest spirit's head, which results in the forest regrowth, so the movie ends on a hopeful note.
But before we move on, let's talk a little bit about the director of the movie's background, Hayao Miyazaki. His stance is quite anti-civilization, as his worldview is influenced by his childhood experiences during and after World War II, witnessing firsthand the destruction and rebirth of Japan.
So Princess Mononoke was heavily based on World War II because Miyazaki wanted it to closely represent the period of time where people were still deciding whether or not to use these new technological innovations. So he set it in the Muromachi period, which he thought most closely resembled the period after World War II.
He also uses symbolism in his movies, using them to highlight his anti-war messages, skepticism towards modernity, and respect for traditional ways of life in Japan. It's key to his storytelling, usually representing deeper themes of progress versus preservation. And it's heavily featured in his other work as well.
So some of these common themes in Ghibli movies include the environment, war and peace, balance, and technology. For example, Castle in the Sky, which is my personal favorite Ghibli movie, showcases coexistence with nature, especially when the robots in the movie become violent as a response to human brutality, as well as the use of mass destruction weapons, revealing humanity's tendency for violence. Another movie, Ponyo, focuses on protecting the oceans, and it has a theme or a plot similar to Princess Mononoke, but it's kind of the opposite, as nature is the one that reaches out to humans to connect, and the characters aim to fix the balance of nature. So something interesting about this movie is that the English version of the film calls San a wolf god princess, while the Japanese one calls her Mononoke princess. So what does Mononoke exactly mean? Mononoke, which is a Japanese word, originally describes strange and uncanny things in general, but it also is used to describe the souls of the dead and alive that possess people of all sorts to do evil deeds, according to Japanese folklore.
The movie has a strong emphasis on Shinto, which according to an article by Toshio, represents the sacredness of nature, and traditional Japanese culture places a heavy emphasis on this, including Miyazaki.
So as previously mentioned, Shinto is one of the main religions of Japan alongside Buddhism, and my understanding of Shinto as someone who is technically part of the religion is that it's similar to other animistic religions around the world, such as in Native Americans, where all things such as mountains, forests, animals, and people are thought to have a spirit, and nature is also considered very sacred.
Alright, so over the next several episodes, we'll cover the cycle of hatred, morality of leadership, modernity versus tradition, and ethics of innovation, as well as how clever symbolism utilized by Miyazaki to convey these themes, and how it all ties together in the last episode.
Thank you so much everyone for the clarifying information. I'm really looking forward to this season since Princess Mononoke is one of my favorite movies of all time. Thanks for listening. In our next episode, we will be taking the lead to discuss the duality of hatred in Princess Mononoke and how both San and Lady Eboshi represent hatred against each other. We hope you can join us. In the meantime, don't be afraid to critique what you love to read, watch, and listen to. Bye-bye.
Bye!